Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. We are going to introduce you Eclipse Che and how to code in the cloud with Che and Docker. So for the session, we are two, so Florent Benoit and myself, Stéphane Lemeur. So as agenda for the session, we will introduce you Che. We will do a big part of the session will be a live demo, and we will speak a little bit about the workspace portability, which allow you to get a workspace when you need it. So one of the common problems that we have with our workflow is the setup of a developer environment. We are all struggling with the developer environment configuration. We are working on multiple projects. We are having some technologies, and we have to switch from one project to another project. We have to switch to one technology to another technology. We are working in teams with style. We are all good, but all different. So some of us prefer to go into the terminal and interact directly with the terminal. Some prefer to just click buttons. So the way we are solving this today is mainly about creating documentation scripts. We always need to keep that in sync with the code that we are working on. And it's manual, it's error prone. And in general, we are losing a lot of time in hours, in days. And if you think about how many time you are losing inside of your company, it's taking a lot of weeks for a year. So yes, we can do it. We can configure our developer workspace or not. And sometimes when we are failing, we are just feeling embarrassed, ashamed, and defeat. So we would like this to just work, to let anyone at any time being able to contribute to a project without having to install anything on his computer. So that is the goal for open source, for example, for leading communities and engaging the community more easily. It could be to improve the agile development, to feel it more natural, and iterate in the moment with users to include feedbacks much faster. And if we think about what we are really needing to make a contribution to a project, we need an IDE, of course. We need project files, and we need runtime. And by runtime, we include all the dependencies that you need to build, to test, or to run your project. In general, inside of a workspace, we include projects and config. So we have the IDE on one side, we have the workspace with the project files and the configuration files as well. And we have the runtime, which is installed on your computer and which is running alone. But how you can share your workspace? So there is solution to share an IDE, to share the configuration of the IDE with the projects. But when it's about the runtime itself, it is very much difficult to keep it in sync because you will install some stuff on your computer, and if you want to switch to another workstation, you may not have all the dependencies. And the runtime is in general running on your local host, and it has some constraints for sharing, controlling, and scaling. So if you want to reproduce an environment that is needing a lot of resources, you might not be able to reproduce it on your local machine. So for that, with Eclipse Che, we try to redefine the concept of a workspace. And for us, a workspace is really the combination of an IDE, the project files, and the runtime, which will include all the dependencies that you need to build, test, and run your project, and work on it. So we are calling it, this concept of workspace, the universal workspaces, which will lead to universal contributions. So Eclipse Che is really an open source project to make the workspaces universal. And the concept of a workspace that is universal must include the runtime, be collaborative, programmable, versionable, so we will keep it in sync with the source code of the project, and extensible. So the way we did it is by bringing the workspace runtime inside of the workspace. Those runtimes are machines defined by Docker files, so they are Docker containers. The projects are mounted inside of the runtime, and we rely on the workspace runtime for the project. And we define commands inside of the workspace, which will be executed as processes inside of the workspace runtime. So that will be processes in the Docker container. So we will have commands to do a build. We will have commands to start a data source, or to deploy a project on a path if we want. The workspace will include their own IDE, but they can also connect to other IDEs over SSH. So the workspace will bring a browser IDE, but you can also connect a traditional IDE like Eclipse or IntelliJ or VS Code using SSH. And the workspace, they are orchestrated and hosted with the Che servers. And this is how Che is looking. So this is the browser IDE and the client. Okay, so the universal workspace will also be collaborative, because as it is running on the web, we will be able to share them and make them portable. So we will be able to make them running on other workstations without having to install anything on the other workstation. So that is the promise. And we are going to do a small demo where we will show you the various features of Che.
Okay, so I have an instance of Che which is running. It's an empty instance. And then I will create my first project on it. So I go in the new project. I can select the runtime for my project. Maybe I need to zoom in, or it's okay. You can see. Okay. So my project will be a Java project. So I select the ready-to-go stack Java. I may pick up some other pre-configured stack. And if some of these stacks are not what I expect, I can go in custom stack, and here I can add my own Docker file content. For example, if I have my Docker hub image, I can add here this image. So I choose Java. I say I will use a template or sample. I define the name of my workspace. I use Java, so I increase a lot my memory. It will be a web sample, and that's all. I click on create. So here, my Docker container with my Java stack is being launched. And once the Docker container is being launched, we inject the Eclipse Che agent inside the Docker container. Then the workspace agent has been started, and we clone the source code of the project. And now it's ready. So I can open my project inside the IDE. We can see that we have a shell. So I'm connected here inside the Docker container. So if I go and slash, I can see Linux while I'm on Mac system. As Stefan said, the projects are mounted inside the projects folder. So if I go in the projects, maybe I need to zoom in. If I go on slash project, I can see my project there. If I go an SRC folder, if I create some directory, I can see that all the stuff that I do inside the shared access is reported inside the IDE tree. I can use as well some graphical stuff inside the terminal. So, yeah.
So you really have the total control on your Docker container, and you can install anything that you want inside of the container as well.
So here I am in the editor view. So we have all the stuff that we can have in IDE. So I can ask for completion. It's nothing difficult. We have the simple refactoring, like to rename a variable. We can go inside. You have an assistant menu, and you can find all the shortcuts and operations that you can do, like go inside the controller. As Stefan said, we have the concept of commands inside Eclipse Che. So for example, to build my project here, I will use a command. And this command is a build and run command. So it is a Maven project. So we will use the mvn clean install command. Then I will copy the file to Tomcat, and I will start at the end Tomcat. Here, we are using a preview URL with the port 8080. It's because when you launch the process inside the Docker container, we are using the 8080 port inside the Docker container, but the exposed port will be different with Docker. So by using this macro, Eclipse Che is able to convert this 8080 port to the remote port. So I click on build and run. So you can see the target to access to my project is not using anymore 8080. This is the first time that my Docker container has been started, so I'm downloading all the Maven dependencies to build my project. If I come back to my workspace, the dependencies will be there the next time. So my project has been started. I click on the link, and I have a very nice application. I can enter the name of Stefan. So the next step, I will stop it, is I want to be able to debug this application. So I can use breakpoints. So for example, I have one breakpoint there on this line. It is gray because I have not connected yet my debugger. I go on the run menu, and I go on debug configuration. I have an existing debugger which connect to the 8000 port. This time, I will run my process in debug mode. So we will listen on the 8000 port. And now, I'm connecting with the debugger. So we can see that the gray breakpoint has been changed to blue. And if I go back to the application, it is blocked because we are inside the debugger. What we can do is we can edit, change the value, and resume. And if I come back, we have the value updated.
So the debugger here is connecting to a process that is running inside of the container, but it is a remote debugger, so you can also use it to connect to a process that is running outside. It could be a process that is running on a server somewhere.
And then Steven has told us that we have in Chase the ability to export a workspace from my computer to a remote computer. So if I go inside the dashboard, here I have my workspace. And the idea is that I want to export this Eclipse Che workspace to a remote workspace. So for this, I will use a remote instance, this one. So if I go on my workspace, I have nothing. So this is an Eclipse Che instance hosted on CodeEnvy side. I go and export. Here I select my login. And then here we will create on the remote instance the workspace. Then we will start the workspace and import the project that I add on my Che localhost to the remote instance. So it takes some time. It depends also on the Wi-Fi connection. Okay. For example, here I think we can see that we have a new workspace, which is import my work. It has been exported successfully. So if I open now my project on the remote workspace, I have the same project, I have the same command, then I can click build and run. And then I'm able to run again my project that was previously stored on my local computer. So I demonstrated how I can export my project running on my local computer to a remote Eclipse Che instance running on the cloud. And if I click on the link, yeah, I have the same application. So I think that's all.
So one of the things is that with the workspace, we store the configuration of all its settings. So it has all the information about the project, the runtimes as well, and the Docker containers, of course. And once we have that, we are able to share it. So we can share it just with a file, or we can also share it and export it on another version of Che running on the cloud. And we keep the JSON file in sync with the source code of the project, which means that if you have a version of your project that is old and you update the configuration of the workspace, you will still be able to restore an old version of the project with the dependencies. So thanks for the demo, Florent. So we show that we create a workspace and a project. The workspace and the project are relying on a stack, which is basically a Docker container. If you want to create your workspace and install some of the custom dependencies that you may have, you will have to write a Docker file. We show a little bit the editor features that we have, but we have other things. We have, for example, the ability to fix the bugs and to display the errors, the various markers that you are used to get on Eclipse. And we interact a little bit with the command and the debugger. So the universal workspace is including the runtime. It is collaborative, we can share it. It is also programmable. Which means that it has a set of REST API that you can interact with. You can either interact with the APIs that are managing the workspaces and orchestrating them, but you can also interact with the APIs that are deployed inside of our workspace agent. So the workspace agent is deployed onto the workspace runtime, and it allows to run our own services. So for example, to provide the Java features, we rework the JDT, we remove all the UI part of the JDT, and we open its features through WebSocket and REST API, and the browser IDE is connecting to this API to provide the features like auto-completion, code analysis, and so on. So all the API are documented through Swagger UI. You can use it. It's versionable because we want to keep it in sync with what is the version that is running on your current production, but also with the versions that you can have on your various acceptance servers. And it is extensible. So we currently have a growing list of plugins. We have plugins for languages. So we support natively Java, but as Sven demonstrated during his talk this morning, he's also working on adding more languages support inside of Che. And we are almost always providing syntax highlighting because we are reusing, as editor, we are reusing Orion. So the editor that you saw inside of Che is Orion. And we have other plugins for frameworks, for builders, for Maven, for so on, Git and Subversion. And we are keep adding it, so it's growing. So you can extend either the browser IDE or you can also extend the dashboard by just adding a stack. So you can customize the set of stacks that you will provide to your user by just changing the definition of the stacks that are provided with Che. So a universal workspace provided with Che. Che is a single user. It's running on your localhost, but it could also be deployed on a server or on the cloud. And now I would like to discuss a little bit more about a cloudified version of Che. So it's called CodeEnvy. It is adding the multi-user management and the scalability of the workspace orchestration. And what is nice is that once we built those concepts of workspaces that are universal and that we can share everywhere, we can build a concept that is called the factory, which will be a URL that will allow to share a workspace just with a link. It will load or create a new workspace, and it will also allow to onboard the developer very efficiently. So this was the promise, and what we did is that we have this demo. So behind this button there is a URL, a factory, which will have all the instructions that will allow us to recreate and reinstantiate a complete workspace with the same configurations and the one we really wanted. So we will open it, and while we are opening it, we are displaying the same loader, so we are pulling the Docker container and the workspace runtime, building it and starting it.
And you can add this button, for example, on GitHub on your project. So, for example, you can add a developer workspace button directly inside your GitHub project. And if user click on this button, it will open the ID like this.
So here we pre-configure the workspace to load a certain file, which is a file pet. And we include inside of the workspace configurations a set of commands that are ready here. So any kind of developer will be able to come to the project and being able to build and to test the project without to have to install anything on his local machine. So here we are updating the dependencies. And what is starting to be really exciting as well is that you have a panel that allows you to directly contribute a pull request. So you can do a pull request without having to install anything.
So for instance, it is red because the Maven dependencies are not there. But if you change in the code some lines, you can go in the pull request panel. Then you can create a new branch, say it will be EclipseCon friends. Change. You create. Then it tells you that you have not committed, so you say to commit all the change. Okay. Then it being creating the fork of the project on GitHub. It will push the branch on GitHub, and then the pull request will be created. And at the end, we can go on GitHub, and I can see my commit and all the change. And the reviewer can also click on the link, and by clicking on this link, he will get the changes that I have committed inside my IDE. So when you want to review some pull request, you may as well use this kind of button to get the changes and to see in live the result.
So I don't know if you are doing the same, but in general, when we see something cool on GitHub, we are putting a star or we are putting it onto our favorites and saying, yeah, I will test that. But we are never really testing because of some reason. It's taking time. We have to install some stuff. So here it will be just a button which will allow you to to test the project without to install anything. So for any open source project, to onboard a new developer inside of its community, it's really cool.
And the start command was launched automatically, so the user only has to click on the link and he has the application running.
So yeah, we can do the open source project badging. If you have an open source project and you are interested by this badging, feel free to reach us, and we will guide you into the various steps to get this badge onto your repository. And once you have this concept of workspace that you can create on demand when you need it, you can change a little bit the paradigm, because you get into the habit of having a workspace that you keep in sync, that you keep running somewhere. But in fact, here it will be completely different. It means that you will be able to recreate and reinstantiate a workspace exactly when you need it. And once you did your task, you can close it, and that's it. You don't need to keep it. You can forget it, because when you will need to come back to your task, you will be able to reinstantiate it again. So we have some sort of integration with Jira as well, and with Jenkins too. So when you have a task, we will pre-configure a workspace for the developer, and the developer will be able to get the workspace ready to code and to work, and only focus on the code instead of focusing on setting up the developer workspace. That was all the points that we wanted to cover during the session. So if you want to get started with Eclipse Che, we have our sources that are on GitHub, eclipse/Che. We have the dev list, chedev at eclipse.org. We have a Gitter, a ERC channel as well. And of course, you can find us on eclipse.org/Che. We have some getting start. We have a lot of samples projects as well. You can find the documentation and how to contribute to the project. And Che is available as beta for now. Do you have any questions?
Yes.
Hi, Roberto Logiacco. I do have some open source project that definitely would benefit from having such start the IDE button. You mentioned, though, that you can connect a standard Eclipse IDE via SSH to the Eclipse Che workspace.
Yeah.
That's not completely clear to me how that works.
Okay. So by the ability to connect to a workspace over SSH, it means that you will be able to connect to the workspace running somewhere and use it for your developer services. So basically, if the use case will be you are working on your project and you don't have the plugin that you are used to get with Eclipse IDE, for example. In this case, you will still be able to edit the code that is in your workspace running on your Che, and being able to edit the code and benefits from the features of the plugin that you have inside of Eclipse IDE. You could do something like that. We have a plugin with the previous version, which allow you to run the services directly from Eclipse IDE with a right click, and you can execute a command remotely on the workspaces. So this way you can use the Che workspaces as a developer, as a service platform, in fact. You like it? Cool.
Hey, you said there is some work going on to separate the JDT background logic from the UI. Is this happening in JDT, or is this flowing back to JDT, or is this something that you did for J only and it's like private?
It is not private. It is a fork that we did of the JDT where we split the UI. We remove all the SWT code and dependencies that we obviously don't need onto J. So for now, it is a fork, and we are considering to contribute that somehow, but not yet something that we did.
No more questions.
Any other questions? Then thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.